A fragile truce. Israel and Hezbollah seek common ground. After weeks of escalating tensions and violence, Israel and Hezbollah have agreed in principle to a US-backed ceasefire. This fragile truce comes as a glimmer of hope in a region weary of conflict. The agreement, still under negotiation, aims to halt the recent cycle of rocket fire and airstrikes. It is a significant diplomatic effort, brokered by the US with the hope of paving a path towards a more permanent peace. This ceasefire proposal arrives amidst a backdrop of escalating military actions. Israel has faced barrages of rocket fire from Lebanon, prompting retaliatory airstrikes on Hezbollah positions in Beirut. The intensity of these exchanges has underscored the urgent need for a diplomatic solution. Prime Minister Netanyahu, through a series of high-level consultations, has sought to ensure that Israel's security concerns are addressed in any agreement. The proposed ceasefire, still in its early stages, faces numerous challenges. Skepticism runs high, with many questioning the commitment of both sides to a lasting peace. Past agreements have crumbled, leaving a legacy of distrust and broken promises. The international community watches with bated breath, hoping that this time the desire for peace will outweigh the entrenched animosity. Step by step. The 3 stages of the ceasefire agreement. The ceasefire agreement, if successfully implemented, will unfold in 3 distinct stages. The first stage calls for an immediate truce, a silencing of the guns, and a cessation of hostilities. This initial step, while seemingly straightforward, represents a significant challenge. Establishing an enforceable agreement between the parties by the United States after weeks of violence will require restraint and a commitment to dialogue over aggression. The second stage mandates the withdrawal of Hezbollah forces north of the Litani River. This critical step aims to create a buffer zone, separating the opposing forces and reducing the risk of accidental clashes. However, the success of this stage hinges on the willingness of Hezbollah to relinquish its presence in the south and weapon used to attack Israel, a move that could be met with resistance. Finally, the third stage envisions an Israeli withdrawal from southern Lebanon, which the civilians of Lebanon might not necessarily see as beneficial to their freedom. This withdrawal would be followed by negotiations between Israel and Lebanon, aimed at resolving the long-standing border disputes, which Israel will ensure that Lebanon does not repeat its ability to continue to support Hamas. This final stage represents the most significant challenge, requiring both sides to compromise and find common ground on issues that have fueled conflict for decades. Guardians of Peace. The role of international monitors and the Lebanese army. Israel's concern is that history has shown that the Lebanese army has not deterred Hamas in the past, but rather supported Hamas with weapons. Thus, Israel must proceed with caution to ensure that this alliance between Hamas and Lebanon is not taken by them as an opportunity for Hamas to rearm. The success of the ceasefire hinges not only on the commitment of Israel and Hezbollah, but also on the effectiveness of the monitoring mechanisms. An international body, led by the United States, will be tasked with overseeing the implementation of the agreement. Their role will be to ensure both sides adhere to the terms of the ceasefire and to act as a deterrent against any breaches. Israel will request President Trump's assistance in maintaining the peace agreement. Since the Joe Biden administration has failed to demonstrate its strength on the world stage and its support for Israel. Although Lebanon wants the Lebanese army bear the responsibility of preventing Hezbollah from re-establishing its military infrastructure in the south, Israel is maintaining its negotiating power to prevent Hezbollah from re-establishing its war machine in the southern region. It's clear that Israel should not leave that responsibility to only the Lebanese army. Rather, a joint responsibility and obligations over the South region might work best for Iran and Israel. This mandate places a heavy burden on the Lebanese government to exert its authority and ensure that Hezbollah does not exploit the ceasefire to regroup and rearm. The international community will be watching closely, ready to provide support but also acutely aware of the potential for the Lebanese army to be outmatched or undermined. A glimmer of hope, potential implications and the path forward. The proposed ceasefire, while fragile, holds the potential to reshape the dynamics in the region. A successful implementation could pave the way for further dialogue and negotiations, addressing the root causes of the conflict. It could also usher in a period of relative calm, allowing for much-needed reconstruction and humanitarian aid to reach those affected by the violence. However, the path forward is fraught with challenges. It's doubtful that Israel will relinquish territory it has captured in Gaza, which will be secure by Israel's armed forces in order to prevent another October 7. The international community must remain engaged, providing the necessary support and pressure to ensure both sides adhere to their commitments. The underlying issues of border demarcation, Hezbollah's arsenal, and the broader regional dynamics remain unresolved. This ceasefire, if successful, can only be a first step towards a more comprehensive and lasting peace. Please like and subscribe to our channel.